dominated the world have used money to rule it and have ruled it in their own interest. It looks at a world economic system that has no regard for the poor, that has no regard for the small nations, that has no regard for the poor of the small nations. And the policy is a dignified policy, is not a violent policy, is not a policy of guns. It's a very honorable policy, but it is a very clear policy. It is a policy that calls the poor of the world to stand together, to stand firm together, to struggle together, to struggle for change, to struggle for justice, to struggle through organization, to struggle through will, to struggle through determination, to struggle to build a new kind of world in which your children and mine will walk with more dignity, with better housing, with better opportunity, with better prices, with better response from the world monetary system. That is the world to which I call you. That is the world for which I struggle, and no power will turn me back from that world. And comrades, if you go and walk with me, if you go and step with me, if you go and move with me, we're moving as warriors. We're moving in determination. We're moving to struggle. We're moving to change that world. No power will turn us back.
Me ever fresh, me no green.
Me coulda never green, dog. Me no chow chow. No. Ha 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 ho ho. Who you know?
But if change is what we really want to see, ladies and gentlemen, then we must rise up. We must unite. We must advocate. We cannot remain silent. Where are the young men, the young women, the men, the women, the boys, the girls who will put aside political divide and do what is best for Jamaica? Eternal Father, bless our land. Guide us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil powers. Be our light through countless hours. Even our pledge, our national pledge, says before God and all mankind, we cannot see a better Jamaica unless we return to the foot of the cross. Jamaica under God must increase in beauty, fellowship and prosperity, and play our part.
If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And he's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
I said I'm happy every day as I travel through this land. I've been mighty blessed by God, and I'm holding to his hand. Yes, mommy, I see you. Yes, the journey is almost over. Shut up. And the battle is nearly won. And I have a feeling. I have a feeling in my heart. The best is yet to come. Slide up it. Over there, so wanna ready to get, wanna get up now, man. Wanna get up now, man. I feel mad in this place. Let's go. I am happy every day as I travel through this land. I've been mighty blessed by God, and I'm holding to his. Over there, so I said the journey's almost over. I know the battle is nearly won, and I have a feeling in my heart, the best is yet. Come on, sir. I said the best is yet to come. When I walk through heaven's gates, yeah, I said the first time I'll see Jesus, I can hardly wait. And he showed me to a man, son, and said, child, this is your home. And I have a feeling in my heart. You know this one? Listen, shut.
Oh, you know. I want to hear the angels singing. I want to be in that number. I want to hear that trumpet song. We have you now. I want to hear archangel voice. I want to hear archangel. Oh, I want to hear when my name is called. I want to hear. Everybody know I want to hear. I want to hear. I want to hear. I want to hear. Watch out now. I want to see the angel marching. I want to be in that number. I want to hear. I want to hear that trumpet song. I want to hear archangel voice. I want to hear. God bless you now. I want to hear when my name is called. I want to hear. Everybody do so. If I'm not living for Christ, then I cannot be.
Blood and fire, comrades who are in jungle tonight. On the nose that the word is love. Comrades, I come with a speech, but it's a different speech I have to give tonight. But before I go into that, we have been saying all night that young people know set time come. And I want to bring up a young man who has looked for himself. Him read for himself. Him search for himself. And when him done, him realize that the only choice he could choose is the People's National Party. And I want to welcome Comrade Perry.
Hold on. We don't have much time. When I say time, you say come. Time. Senator Murray, somebody asked me, Perry, why aren't you a Laborite? Me ever fresh, me no green.
Me coulda never green dog, me no chow-chow. No. Ha, ho. Who ya know? Underpants, Paulo. We the gal in the
Hold on, cut in, man. Hold on.
Me coulda never green.
Hold on, no DJ, man. Hold on. I don't have much time. The next Prime Minister, let me shake your hand, so big up yourself, Mark Golin, Jensek, and brother, Dayton Campbell Doctor. Listen, in 1938, the People's National Party was formed out of the vision to help the poor people. It was born out of restlessness of the people seeking for better. And I believe that the People's National Party continues to be the answer for the people. Can I hear an amen? Hold on. In 1995, under the auspices of P.J. Patson, the most honorable, there was a revitalization and an extension of the new National Youth Service Program, which gave young people the opportunity to earn commandment church. It gave people the opportunity to better themselves. I don't have much time, but hear what? I hear the other people them say, you must choose Jamaica, but you can't choose Jamaica without choosing the people. God bless you.
Me coulda never green dog, me no chow-chow. No. Ha, ho. Me coulda never green dog, me no chow-chow.
Move your club, comrades.
Comrades, I want to let you know that young man is the former guild president at the University of the West Indies. That is the kind of young people that we attract in the People's National Party.
A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also. I do not support corruption. Corruption takes money away from children's education. It deprives hospitals of basic necessities. It means that roads are not fixed. Corruption deepens inequality. It siphons off taxpayers' money to make a few cronies richer with the political connections instead of benefiting the people. This government has been doing everything it can to weaken and undermine the Integrity Commission, which is an institution that I designed as Minister of Justice and brought the legislation to Parliament to fight corruption in this country. I have said it before and I will tell you again. Jamaica cannot move forward without a government built on integrity that embraces principles of good governance in this country.
The perspective with Perry Cummings Jr. Dig up yourself. The best is yet to come. This is my perspective. Telling you my perspective. This is my perspective to bring change that I feel me objective. Scandal after scandal. Look where Jamaica come to. Them rob the money and a thief a lot too. Election tactics, what a disgrace. Them cut off ribbon and the place. Now see if it's a prime minister. Are you me a address? Police a kill off the youth if you check. Talking about the way country are the best. But though this are my perspective, telling you my perspective. These are my perspective to bring change that I feel.
Greetings to you all. I hope that you are all doing well. This is the day that the Lord has made. We must rejoice and be glad in it. As you join, you know the drill. Just like up the live, share up the live, all of that, ladies and gentlemen, as you join. Tell a friend to subscribe to the Perspective YouTube channel. This is another program. Wow, we have a lot to talk about tonight. Certainly another day of drama. But can we at least take a minute to give the Lord thanks? Let's take a minute. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, it is very important that we give the Lord thanks. There's so much happening in our world right now. I mean, social media is blowing up. There's a number of things that we're going to have to touch on and really dissect. But let me know where you're viewing from for now. Let me know where you're tuning in from. You know, it is crazy. Jamaica, it's crazy right now. But let me know where you're viewing from, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know where you're viewing from. It's another show this evening, and I'm happy to be here with you. Yes, Kingston. Paulette, big up yourself every time. Clarendon is in the building. Who else? Clarendon is large and in charge tonight. Yes, man, God is good. Brooklyn, New York. Moran, St. Thomas, Bronx is in the house. North Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, Mona, Southfield, St. Elizabeth, UK. Yes. Mandeville there, Delaware, Georgia again. Yes, man. Who else? St. Andrew, Bogwalk is in the house. Montreal in East Portland, Canada is in the place. When I hear that? Yes, man. Canada is definitely here. Toronto, Bronx, New York City. Yes, man. Like up the live, ladies and gentlemen. New Jersey is here. New Jersey again. Toronto again. St. Elizabeth again. St. Martin. Blessings to you all. Yes, man. Doreen, every time from East Portland, Claremont, Florida, Virginia, New York, Winchester, Virginia. Who else? South Carolina, and so many others. What the song say? So many more that I can tell. We're inviting you all to come along. We are having a glorious time. We are going to the city where moonlight never shines. St. Mary, oh, we may not know, we cannot tell. Others will be there. Maryland, for God himself will be our light to guide us on our way. We have Abraham and Isaac, Philip and Elijah, Moses, Joshua, Daniel in the lion's den, Peter, Paul and Barnabas, waiting for the master. So many more that I can't tell. Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news. God Almighty, help us. Breaking news, man. This one, breaking. God bless me. Ladies and gentlemen, Jamaica is to end a 50-year-old medical program with Cuba. 50-year-old medical program with Cuba. Ladies and gentlemen, under which administration would you expect this to happen? 50-year-old, you know. It could only be under the Andrew Holness led administration. It could have only been under this administration that knows nothing about diplomacy and preserving important diplomatic relationships. The Andrew Holness led administration, the Jamaica, where are the Laborites tonight? If I was ever happy to see Laborites on the perspective, tonight is the night. Tonight is the night. Don't avoid the perspective tonight because you don't see what going on in the news. If there was ever an administration to end a 50-year-old medical program with Cuba, a very important medical program, ladies and gentlemen, it had to be Brogard. It had to be the JLP. It had to be the incompetent administration that knows nothing about diplomacy. It had to be this administration, ladies and gentlemen, to end a very important medical program with Cuba. Can you imagine a diplomatic relationship in this form that has existed for decades? Something that many of our Jamaicans benefited from. It had to be the Jamaica Labour Party to rubbish such an important diplomatic relationship. It had to be this administration. They go around acting as if they are the most diplomatic, acting as if they know what they are doing, acting as if they are being careful with their decisions. And look at what they have done. I'm going to tell you how important it is for Jamaica to have preserved such a relationship, because a lot of the Laborites, they're not as learned, you know. They don't know, so they will say it doesn't matter, it will not impact us. They don't know anything. So I'm not surprised that many of them will come and try to play down such a very important news tonight. You understand what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? They don't know anything about diplomacy and how important this relationship was. Number one, shortage of doctors and specialists will be evident in our medical system. It's not as if we had a medical system and a Ministry of Health that was booming, that was well resourced, that was being managed properly. So can you imagine, with this relationship coming to an end, what will Jamaica's health care system look like in the next couple of years, in the next couple of months even? For many years, Laborites, listen, because you're not learned, very low IQ supporters that will support the Andrew Holness-led administration, and he will lead them to hell, and they will rejoice and go to hell with him. But listen, Laborites, for many years, doctors from Cuba helped fill gaps in Jamaica's health system. Many hospitals rely on Cuban specialists such as surgeons and radiologists. Jamaica already struggles with doctor migration, brain drain we call it. You understand what I'm saying? To the US, UK and Canada. That is already a crisis that we have been facing. You understand what I'm saying? Removing Cuban doctors could leave critical staffing shortages, especially in rural hospitals. This could inevitably mean longer waiting times, cancelled surgeries, and overworked local staff. Let's talk about the increased pressure on the health system. The public healthcare system run by the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Jamaica, already faces resources challenges. Local doctors will have heavier workloads, burnout among nurses and physicians could increase, emergency rooms and clinics could become overwhelmed. Let's talk about the higher costs for Jamaica. Replacing Cuban doctors may cost more. Doctors from Western countries demand much higher salaries, and that is the reason why it was important to preserve this relationship with Cuba. Recruiting foreign specialists privately is very expensive, and to train local specialists could take years. Can you imagine? Let's talk about the reduced healthcare access in rural areas. Cuban doctors often work in underserved communities where Jamaican doctors sometimes avoid due to lower pay or difficult conditions. These Cuban doctors and specialists, they were willing to go to places where our local medical staff were unwilling to go. So destroying this medical program, destroying this relationship, will plunge Jamaica into further disarray when it comes to our health and wellness. Laborites, are you listening tonight? What will be your justifications now? What will be your justification? Your prime minister sold out this country to the imperialists. Your prime minister has no backbone. He doesn't know the importance of preserving these relationships and the impact that these things will have on your own health, your own family and your children. But you're so blinded by politics. You are unable to look at the bigger picture. Diplomatic strain with Cuba. Jamaica and Cuba have had strong relations for decades. Ending the program will hurt diplomatic ties, reduce future cooperation in health, education, and disaster support. I said it the other day. Don't be surprised if when Jamaica should need Cuba's help again, Cuba will turn their backs on us. It is panning out to be the exact order of the day, ladies and gentlemen. No backbone. If you cared about Jamaica, you would have preserved such an important relationship. Will the United States of America send their doctors and specialists to Jamaica? What is the alternative now? Andrew Holness-led administration. What is the plan B? Because the plan A was always to preserve these diplomatic relationships with Cuba, especially when it came to a matter of health and supporting our hospitals and ensuring that specialists are available. What is the plan B? In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, and I am making the conversation and the perspective as simple as possible. These are facts. The Laborites cannot argue with this. Ending this program could lead to doctor shortages, higher healthcare costs, because now they're going to have to get doctors from elsewhere. You talk about strained hospitals. The local staff will be under strain. overcrowding, delayed surgery appointments, and all of these things, and reduced access to care. Am I to believe that the Prime Minister made his speech in CARICOM the other day without having a plan B? We already have a failing health system under Minister Tufton. And ending this, I am pretty sure, ladies and gentlemen, that when the congressman said that, listen, you're going to pay for what you said, Mr. Prime Minister, at the CARICOM meeting, I wonder if this is what the congressman was talking about. It is a shame and a disgrace to see what Jamaica has become under this administration. We are burning bridges under this administration. Bridges that we need. Bridges that Jamaica need, ladies and gentlemen, in order to survive. Can we stand on our own feet when it comes to health and wellness? Do we have the resources, ladies and gentlemen, to take care of our own? Was that what the meeting was about? Ashani Marcus, remember the first time when the Secretary of War came here? Are we now seeing what that meeting was about? And we've been seeing a train of events. We've been connecting the dots. If we should connect the dots, ladies and gentlemen, it is all making sense now. It is all making sense now. No wonder the government was so reluctant to speak up and speak out when our students were crying and saying, Mr. Prime Minister, Jamaica, help us, because we are in Cuba studying and Cuba is under siege. The amount of tariffs being placed against the country impacting the locals and the foreigners, including Jamaican students. And the government was ever so reluctant to speak up. Well, now it is all making sense. From the very beginning, ladies and gentlemen, the directives given to the Jamaican government was to end diplomatic ties with Cuba. It is all making sense now. It is all a sham. So that speech that was given at the CARICOM meeting, it was all a sham. They knew very well what would be the outcome, ladies and gentlemen.
CARICOM is not experiencing any levels of fragmentation. A declaration from new chairman of CARICOM, Dr. Terence Drew, amid growing tensions between regional leaders and the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Kamla Prasad Biseso. Now, the strain is being driven by ongoing U.S. oil blockade on Cuba and Venezuela, an issue in which CARICOM leaders remain divided. As Amoy Harriet reports, CARICOM says it will be offering humanitarian aid to Cuba.
Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Kamla Prasad Biseso, at the opening of the 50th regular meeting of CARICOM heads of government in St. Kitts earlier this week.
And so I ask, why do some CARICOM governments and political parties believe that they and their parties and their supporters should have the right to contest democratic elections to choose them as leaders, where the Cuban citizens have no right to free and fair election? We cannot, and I will not, Trinidad and Tobago will not support a dictatorship in Cuba or anywhere else.
There's been a growing divide between Prasad Biseso and other Caribbean leaders over the past several months, first over Venezuela and now Cuba. Some leaders, including Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, have called for the region to stand in solidarity with the people of Cuba, a comment that quickly drew pushback from a U.S. official. Now, Prasad Biseso, along with Guyanese President Irfan Ali, have been invited to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump next week, an invitation that's further raising eyebrows across the region, where other leaders are watching closely, worried that their countries could be next in Washington's crosshairs. But But though the leaders aren't all on the same page, CARICOM chairman and Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Terence Drew, is rejecting suggestions that the tension could lead to a fallout in the region.
Trinidad and Tobago or any other country being invited to a meeting does not fragment CARICOM at all. CARICOM is an integration movement of sovereign nations, and at any given point you will hear differences of opinion on particular issues. I look at those as opportunities to strengthen the organization and to advance the organization, because those things will always happen. If you have an integration movement and there are no differences of opinion, I will question if the people are really committed to the movement.
In the meantime, following a meeting with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, regional leaders have agreed to address the growing humanitarian crisis in Cuba. Dr. Drew says these efforts are expected to become actionable within a month, but he couldn't specify what form the humanitarian assistance would take.
We are going to respond on the humanitarian end in short order, within a month. We will give more specifics on it very, very shortly, but within a month, we are going to respond in a significant way to help the humanitarian situation in Cuba.
The CARICOM chairman is also flatly rejecting claims that regional leaders are supporting a U.S.-driven regime change in Cuba.
CARICOM has not involved itself in any discussion of such nature. As such, we are very concerned about the humanitarian situation in Cuba, which I've spoken about, and that is what we are responding to. And within a month, you would see exactly what CARICOM would do with respect to that.
And there was no discussion about regime change in Cuba?
Regime change in Cuba with us?
Yes, with CARICOM.
No, we have not discussed that. We have discussed humanitarian matters in Cuba.
Ladies and gentlemen, am I to believe that CARICOM is not under the influence of a USA regime? When you look at decades of partnering with Cuba through health and through the immaculate support that we've received from Cuba over the many years, and all of a sudden seeing this administration ending that relationship with what has been taking place between the USA, Cuba, USA and Israel, and the rest of the world at this point in time, am I to really sit down and believe CARICOM that they are not being influenced by the United States? How many more of the Caribbean islands will have to end their diplomatic relationships with Cuba now? That's all some of these Laborites can come and talk about September 3rd, and that, oh, the PNP, they are still upset over September 3rd election. Some of you are so low in your thinking. Your entire existence has become an all-time low. You're unable to elevate your reasoning ability above an election campaign season. It is so sad. Look at these serious issues that we are talking about. After 50 years of having a relationship with Cuba, as it relates to providing proper health care for our Jamaican citizens, and we are here pointing out what will happen. The only thing that Laborites can give a response to all of this is saying, oh, the PNP bad man because we'll never win on September 3rd. If it is one thing that we're not going to envy, is the Jamaica Labour Party. There is absolutely nothing to grudge this administration about. Certainly, because not even after the September 3rd, the JLP was able to even celebrate. It is the first general election I have seen where a political party win such a desired. Remember, I want to say third term. I want to fight feet, and after I want to get to couldn't even celebrate. What is there to envy? To end a 50-year relationship with Cuba? where now many Jamaicans will suffer, you will suffer too, and your family, because healthcare will get even more expensive. The children will now be under significant pressure. There will be less staff to meet your health needs. And the only thing that you can contribute to the conversation, Laborites, is that the PNP still have up the election results. How incompetent and how stupid some of you can be to think that this is about politics. This is about the future of our country. That is the only thing that you can contribute. Well, let me show you what else is a very serious issue in this country. This is what Tufton is already going to do. He's going to blame the Middle East war and say that is going to have an impact on the children's hospital. Mr. Tufton, you will blame everything else but yourself. What about your incompetence? What about the lack of oversight? What about the lack of amenities and deliverables needed by the hospitals to ensure that the lives of our people are in good hands? When will you blame yourself? When will you take accountability for the lack of leadership, the lack of vision for health and wellness in this country? Blame everything else. But the fact that it is under this administration, it is under your leadership, Mr. Tufton, that we are ending a 50-year-old medical program with Cuba that Jamaica has benefited. This is unprecedented news. This is unprecedented, ladies and gentlemen. Never in the history of Jamaica's existence have we seen such a fallout out of something that is so critical to Jamaica's development. Never. And one could argue that this is just what is being said now, but they could have very well ended this a long time ago. No wonder they have been staying away from Cuba and the conversations thereof. Regardless, the realities are on the table. It is unprecedented, ladies and gentlemen, what it is that we are experiencing under this administration. What will the Jamaica Labour Party say now? That this is for the betterment of Jamaicans? How will this move benefit Jamaica? How will, you see, we don't even, there are many other things that we could touch. But if we park the bus on this point, Cersei, if we park the bus right here, so not none of the old yellow bus them that Minister Vaz procured in a very wrong way and has still not been able to give clarity for.
It's the Muppet Show!
Not those buses. But if we park the bus of truth and justice on this point alone, this news alone, we could spend the entire night. What will the justifications be? I am waiting to hear. What is the brilliant plan that the Jamaica Labour Party, by extension the Andrew Holness-led administration, has in place to fill these gaps? Because no doubt there are going to be gaps. You Laborites should be ashamed of yourself. How much more do we need as proof to show that under this administration, Jamaica will go up in flames? We are raiding the NHT under this administration, 11.4 billion for the next 5 years, something that they've done before. They've raided the NHT before. Thousands of Jamaicans are still living under the open skies, under tarpaulins, in tents, new taxes to be imposed on the poor and on the vulnerable. As a matter of fact, today in the finance committee, standing finance meeting today, I watched it. It was embarrassing. The Minister of Finance again showing very clearly that she is unable to represent the portfolio. When Damian Crawford questioned her left, right and center, when Christopher Brown questioned her, not even the young man there, Mr. Morgan, for Road and Works, he had no clue when they questioned him about the roads in this country. Not one of them know what they're doing. This budget is a sham. Numbers now match up. Nothing is making sense. And on top of that, ladies and gentlemen, the Andrew Holness-led administration is going to be ending a 50-year-old medical program with Cuba, putting Jamaican lives at risk. Ask now, which set of Jamaicans will be impacted? Ask me which class of Jamaicans will be impacted. Because the richest, ladies and gentlemen, like Cliff Hughes and others who don't pay taxes, they can afford to go to the Andrew Memorial Hospital. They can go to Andrews. The irony of the name. They can go to Andrews. They can pay their money. They can go to the Thai wing up by University Hospital, or they can fly out Cersei. Remember that Mr. Tufton flew out? They can afford to have a poor health system in Jamaica because they're not spending any money in the country. They can fly out. They can do what they want to. They don't have to ball out and worry. They don't have to cry. They don't have to block road for the health system in Jamaica because they can afford to go out. Wasn't it recently we saw the grandchild of, and I'm very happy that they had a safe delivery. The Vaz family celebrated a newborn. Was that delivery overseas? I'm just asking. I could be wrong. But it goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, that everywhere you turn, it is very clear that it's only one set of people who will continually get the bitter end of the stick. When all of these things are happening, ladies and gentlemen, who is going to suffer? Who is going to suffer? And the only thing the Laborites can contribute to the conversation, ladies and gentlemen, the only thing that they can contribute to the conversation is to sound like their arrogant Minister of Transport and Communications. The only thing that they can say is that the PNP bad mind. When all it is the PNP, the only thing we care about is for the well-being of all Jamaicans, whether you're Laborite or PNP. The only thing that they can utter out of their mouth, they don't have any substance to contribute to the conversations. They don't have no contribution to make to the discourse. They have nothing to say. The only thing that they can say is that PNP bad mind. With all of that is happening, the only thing that they can contribute, ladies and gentlemen, is that the PNP bad mind. Dorna Johnson asks, where do we go from here? Under this administration, I can tell you the only destination from here is down a slippery slope. It is down a slippery slope. Recession is coming. The health sector is going to get a shock like never before with this 50-year-old partnership going down the drain. With the new taxes to come, with the budget seeming as if it was generated by ChatGPT. The ministers are clueless. With all of those things and factors coming together, the only destination that I can tell you is down a slippery slope. That is the only destination. And I'm no prophet. I'm no prophet, ladies and gentlemen. But the only place that I can tell you, Jamaica, the only place I see Jamaica going under this administration is right up into a wall. And the passengers, they don't have no seatbelt on. And with a driver who doesn't have a driver's license. I am painting the picture of what I see Jamaica looking like right now. There's a driver at the wheel who doesn't know how to drive, but he's going 200 miles per hour. The passengers in the seat, you and I, we don't have on our seatbelts. And right ahead of us is a large brick wall, 15 inches thick, and we are going flush into the wall. No headlight, no nothing, not even airbag to cushion the impact. That is the scenario painted by this administration, for this administration and Jamaicans at large. That is the scenario that I'm seeing right here, because we're going straight up into a wall. And half of this country, they're like mindless zombies.
Chairman,
so let's go to the next question and then we come back to that.
To something more specific to the minister. As it relates to tourism activity. There is a projected future tax on tourism activity. Minister, I think the minister is still looking at the last question. But there's a suggested tax on tourism activity. That tourism activity, what does that include, if you may indicate some of the things to include? And specifically, does it include cruise activity? Does it include Airbnb? What does that tourism activity
Tourism activity as defined in the legislation.
Can you indicate to me? I've not seen that legislation. Would it include Airbnb? Would it include cruise activity?
You have to go to the legislation.
No, Chairman, with due respect, there's a tax here for tourism activity that has a revenue projection coming from the minister. If this is only on visitor arrival, that is a different thing for stopovers as versus for cruise. If this is only for JTB registered, that's a different quantity as versus for Airbnb. So therefore, it is reasonable for us to ask the current minister what is included in tourism activity, because the header for the tax, Member Brown, is tourism activity. Lend me a pink book. Pink book, revenue. When you sit here,
but I've given him the answer, right, as defined in the act.
All right, so therefore, the JTB Act, does the JTB Act, to your knowledge, include cruise ship persons in tourism activity? Does it include tour and tour activity in tourism activities? Does it include Airbnb in tourism activities? This is a reasonable question. 30% of the arrivals are suggested to go to Airbnbs. Is that a part of your income estimation? She has not, and you're not sitting there.
Members, Minister.
May I lose the part of it there? What? Okay.
Minister, it is not possible for the minister to search for every single thing in here. For some of the
thing?
No,
for some of the things, it will take some time. So, Minister, right. The member would like you to pull the act and read it for him.
All right, I'll get back to that question then.
So, member, would any member?
Ladies and gentlemen, the only place I see Jamaica going Especially with a Minister of Finance like that. But I told Minister Favour. I told her last year. I said, Minister Favour, it is better you resign and leave. Leave. I told her, I warned her. I said, Minister Favour, go on. She stayed there. And I'm telling you, they are going to throw her under the bus. It started today. It started today. Jamaica is in serious trouble, Karel Banton. The only way I see Jamaica going under this, how many other diplomatic ties will Jamaica sever because we are unable to have a spine? Poor Auntie Favour. Poor Auntie Favour. And the thing is, she's not a dunce. Maria Hilton is a brilliant lady. But I said it last year. There is a script that you must follow. There is a script that you must follow. And there is a centralization of power and information too. It was atrocious today in the finance committee, in the standing faith. It was a disgrace today. As I watched it, I said to myself, what is this? What is this? The only destination I see for Jamaica under this administration is total failure. It is total failure. And I'm telling you, there is a breakdown coming, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm telling you, she will have to take the fall for it. These are the reasons, ladies and gentlemen, why I could never be a supporter of the Jamaica Labour Party. Never. Never.
Me ever fresh, me no green.
Me coulda never green, dog. Me no chow chow. No. Ha, 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 ho, ho. Who ya know?
I could never, ladies and gentlemen. What more? What else? What else? Let me take a break and come back. Laborites, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. What will be your excuse now?
The perspective with Perry Cummings Jr. Big up yourself. The best is yet to come. This is my perspective, telling you my perspective. This is my perspective to bring change that I feel me objective. Scandal after scandal, look where Jamaica come to. Them rob the money and a thief a lot too. Election tactics, what a disgrace. Them cut off ribbon and the place no safe. It's a prime minister, are you me a address? Police a kill off the youth if you check. Talking about the way country are the best. But though this are my perspective.
And Protherapy, we are here to help you to bring ultimate relaxation to your feet. Our hot stone, Swedish, and deep tissue massage services are here to help you to get rid of tensions, minor swellings, and aches and pain, increase flexibility and circulation. If you are having any heart or circulatory diseases, then this might not be for you. Reach out to us and let's see if you can secure yourself with a foot massage for as low as $4,500. Thank you for choosing Pearl Therapy, the healing hub. Food is designed to be felt, not just tasted. Soft warmth, gentle richness, a harmony that melts effortlessly on the tongue. At Cummings Exquisite Caterers, every dish is an invitation. Guided by passion, finished with elegance. We cater for life's most meaningful moments, elegant weddings, private celebrations, and much more. With a serene repast center, just 10 minutes away from two major cemeteries. We are located at 38 Joe Blaine Spanish Town Road. Reach out to us, 876-5 573-9124. Cummings Exquisite Caterers, where desire...
Please, Mr. Knight, please.
I'm suggesting that you are pathologically mendacious.
Mr. Knight, that is an improper suggestion.
Why?
And an improper...
After
yes.
he just said what he just said?
Yes.
It's pathological.
Mr. Knight, please continue your cross-examination, if you so intend to.
He was referring to what you said, a ruling you made.
And he laughed at you.
And laughed. You have a pathological condition when it comes to telling the truth. And I'm suggesting to you that you have misled, you have conspired, and you have deceived the parliament, the people of this country, and the inquiry, this commission, the diaspora and every Jamaican, and that you, Prime Minister, should pack your bags and go.
Mr. Chairman. All right, Mr. Small.
But Mr. Chairman, you need to put your foot down.
Put my foot down or what? Adjourn it?
Well, take charge.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The Perspective, and I'm Perry Cummings Jr. A lot of woes happening in our country. Many woes, many woes. As a matter of fact, the headlight is shining on a certain minister too. I'm wondering if we have any competent ministers at this point under this administration. Here's a little clip of something that I saw today.
No, I said we're doing 630 roads.
But in kilometers, that is 250.
The Spark program was not defined by per kilometer.
No, man, understood. But in the book it says we will rehabilitate in 250 kilos based on the physical target. So I'm just clarifying if that's the correct information.
Let's say we're doing about 1,200 kilometers of Spark roads.
1,200?
Yes.
So why would the physical target suggest 250? At 19,000 C18, it is saying physical targets initially, rehabilitation of 250 kilometers of road pavement. So is that an incorrect statement in the budget?
I'm trying to find what you're talking about.
19,000 C18 in the capital budget. Physical targets, number 7. Yes. So is that an incorrect statement?
That would probably be for the fiscal year, but...
No, man, this is the overall physical target.
Well, that would not be correct.
All right, why it couldn't be for the fiscal years? Because in the same, at number 6 is stating the total amount allocated for Spark, which is 45 billion.
That could not be correct.
So the 250 is incorrect?
Yes, that is incorrect.
But the document is incorrect?
Okay. So the real...
Wow.
The minister said,
we are having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Something all right. Something all right, yeah.
Cause one by one, uno go into jail. One by, uno go into, one by.
Kilometers of road, that's...
No, I said we're doing 630 roads.
But in kilometers, that is
But
250.
The Spark program was not defined by per kilometer.
No, man, understood. But in the book it says we will rehabilitate in 250 kilos based on the physical target. So I'm just clarifying if that's the correct information.
Let's say we're doing about 1,200 kilometers of Spark roads.
1,200?
Yes.
So why would the physical target suggest 250? At 19,000 C18, it is saying physical targets initially, rehabilitation of 250 kilometers of road pavement. So is that an incorrect statement in the budget?
I'm trying to find what you're talking about.
19,000 C18 in the capital budget. Physical targets, number 7. Yes. So is that an incorrect statement?
That would probably be for the fiscal year, but
Can't be for the
No, man, this
That-
is the
that-
overall physical target.
well, that would not be correct.
All right, why it couldn't be for the fiscal years? Because in the same,
No,
at
I'm-
number 6 is stating the total amount allocated for Spark, which
No,
is
I'm just
45
saying
billion.
that could not be correct. That
So the
could not be
250 is incorrect.
Yes, that is incorrect.
But the document is incorrect.
Okay. So the real figure should have been what? Let me just add it.
Overall, we're doing 1,200 kilometers of Spark Road.
1,200 kilometers. Okay. And you said no for the difference between parochial and main roads. You said 630 parochial and 63 main roads roughly will be the total.
That's correct. That's
All right,
correct.
Minister.
Fully done.
Ladies and gentlemen, not one competent minister is under this administration. Not one. Today was atrocious. Today was atrocious. On the end of the government, the opposition asked the relevant. I could listen. It was an embarrassment, ladies and gentlemen. It was an embarrassment, ladies and gentlemen, to say the least. Not one of these ministers seems to have any amount of competence. But the Prime Minister said, you know, he said it in his green shirt and everything.
Fully done.
And this is why they don't like the opposition. This is the reason why when we ask questions, they have a problem. We demand transparency. This is the reason why we have to question this administration, because numbers will not be correct. Minister Favor don't know what time is striking. It's certainly not 1 p.m. You know what time it is now in Jamaica? It is the time of destruction, chaos, anarchy, corruption, the breaking away and the slipping away of diplomatic ties. That is the time now. The time on the clock, ladies and gentlemen, is an indicator. At the midnight cry, it is The time is not 1 p.m. It is dark. It's a dark and desolate time in this country. You have to take bad things, make joke. Ladies and gentlemen, look at what is happening in this country. Wow, somebody said it'd be a message. Can you imagine? I cannot believe it, ladies and gentlemen. You know what time it is now in Jamaica? It is the time of corruption, skullduggery. It's a disgrace, dark days. It is trouble on every side. It is trouble on every side. It is trouble on every side, ladies and gentlemen, because even among our children. Yes, man, like up that. Somebody tell me how much likes you have. Let me know if I should take a 30 seconds break. Let me know. The people them liking up the live, Woman of Fire. Let me know if them liking up the live, you know, because I don't know the foolishness tonight. We're having a good time. Guys, let's bring the likes to 500. Let me take a break, man. Let me take a break. We have time, you know. Make we take a break. Still all my song shall be.
Oh, after all, this life is over, and my lover here is ended, and I climb upon the mountaintop so tall, looking over in the city that my Savior, Lord, is preparing. Give me grace that I would make it after all. Oh, I myself, I cannot make it, but I know He's there to help me. If to Him in earnest prayer I keep on calling. Oh, keep on trusting and believing all the words I heard Him whisper. Just a few more days to labor after all.
Somebody said time come. It is so ironic that it is not greener on the other side. Somebody said time come. I have been analyzing the political atmosphere, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to clarify a few things. A lot of persons believe the comrades are against the bus system. We're not against the bus system, comrades. Am I speaking truth here tonight? But the way that seems right to a man may very well end up in destruction. Somebody say amen. When I look on social media, Mr. Buchanan, all I see is broken down yellow buses. The tires, them are rotten off. I wonder if I'm at the right place tonight. Hold on. And when the people have a problem with the modus operandi as to how they get the buses, them tell we bad mind. The devil is a liar. How if you bad mind when God a bless you, bless you, bless? Hold on. Let me just tell you this. I denounce, I refuse, and I rubbish the notion that the People's National Party has no plans. The devil is a liar. Recently, I was doing some research, and I recognized that our party leader, Mr. Marky G, has plans to help the disabled. He has plans to help the less fortunate. They plan on building how much thousands of homes. Allow me to tell, they have plans to ensure that young people leaving out of university, they can go and get a home, rent it, and then own it. God Almighty. How them to say PMP now no plans? I have said it before, and I will say it again. The People's National Party continues to be the visionaries of Jamaica. Me see them a hype with bus system, but a PMP start JUTC. Let the power fall on me, my Lord. Let the
Hurry! Hallelujah! Say, I am the way, King of the victory. I am the truth, Lord of the harmony. I am the light of the world to be. I hold your hand, my friend. I give you strength, my friend. You are the team, my friend. You gotta say, hallelujah. Sailing, 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 sailing. Oh, freedom, freedom, freedom. I hold your hand, my friend. I give you strength, my friend. You are the team, my friend. You're gonna sail. Hallelujah. I am the vine. You shall not hide in me. I am the river. You shall be close to me. I am the rock. You shall fight in me. Oh, your hand. strength, my friend. You are the sea. You're gonna sail. Hallelujah. Sailing, 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 sailing. Freedom, freedom, freedom. I hold your hand, my friend. I give you strength, my friend. You are the sea. We're gonna say the victory. I am your brother, living in flesh with thee. I am your savior, paid on Calvary. I am the God, rising glory. Hold your hand, my friend. I give you strength, my friend. You are the sea. You're gonna sail. Hallelujah. Sailing, 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 sailing. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Hallelujah. All your hand, my friend. I give you strength, my friend. You are the sea. You're gonna sail. I am the Father, living in flesh with thee. I am your Savior, died on Calvary. I am the God, rising in victory.
Hosanna, I hold your hand, my friend. Hosanna, I guess what happened when we work together. Ladies and gentlemen, there is trouble on every side. Thank you so much for liking up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. Hold on. Elaine from out of East Portland, bless up. She said, Perry, today is one of your supporters' birthday. Perry said, happy birthday to Doreen, New Jersey. She's one of your favorite. Today she's 80 years old. Somebody say happy birthday to Doreen. Happy birthday, Doreen. If you're watching, man, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. 80 years. My God. Wow. Not many persons live to see so much, you know. Boy, Lord, if it is your will, let me live to see that many years. But well, let me not say that over my own life. I would be so wrong to say that. But 80 years, that's a lot. Happy birthday to you. Keep on keeping on. Yeah. Favor of the Lord is on your life. The grace of the Lord is on your life. Yeah, man, I love to hear that. That's good news. There is trouble on every side. There is trouble on every side. There's a student, ladies and gentlemen, who met up in an altercation with another student, I believe the classmate, and the student succumbed to the injuries, and the accused is in custody. There's trouble on every side, ladies and gentlemen, even our children, our students, our babies. They are killing off each other. You hear what I say, ladies and gentlemen? They're fighting each other, they're stabbing each other. There's a war happening among our children. It is sad.
I'm here in Clinton at the Ochi Rios High School where a very unfortunate incident unfolded yesterday. It's alleged that one student used a chair to hit another student, causing his death. We're expecting the minister.
Is a chair? Another student used a chair. Seemed that if he had a hit to the head. So one student used a chair to bash in the skull. God Almighty. To bash in the skull of another student. And it was so terrible that that students succumbed to injuries. Wow. And the Laborites are saying 1 p.m. in the chat. The Laborites are saying 1 p.m. in the chat. They glorify death, destruction.
Top Education, Senator Dana Morris Dixon to be here this morning to address the gathering and no doubt offer her condolences. We'll tell you more during Primetime News at 7 this evening.
There is trouble on every side. This government has brought destruction upon our nation. Where our policies are concerned, at 7:30 I'm going to be opening the phone lines. There is destruction on every side. The Laborites are rejoicing. 1 p.m. Perry, 1 p.m. On a bad man with for the third term. It's a disgrace. We are here mourning the death of a student whose skull was bashed in. And the Laborites are saying 1 p.m. I cannot make this up. I cannot make this up. There are Laborites, ladies and gentlemen, who are rejoicing over this unfortunate situation. Because for some of these Laborites, all that matters for them is that their party is in power. No man, we don't block them, man. We allow them to take the rope and hang themselves. I want people to see the type of people who are following the Jamaica Labour Party. Because here we are talking about ways now in which we need to intervene in our schools, bring back love. Where are the conflict resolution skills? What is the role of the guidance counselors? What is it that we should be doing now as a country to ensure that our children, they are able to resolve conflict without resorting to death, murder, you know? This is what the Laborites are celebrating. This is what they are celebrating.
Fully done.
But your Prime Minister said it. So under this third term, ladies and gentlemen, we have severed very important diplomatic ties with Cuba, jeopardizing health. I'm coming down now to take calls. Jeopardizing health and wellness in our country. We are to impose new taxes on the poor and on the vulnerable. They say that it is an option for you to drink these sugary drinks, but they have an expectation to collect billions in revenue from these beverages. Make it make sense. So the expectation is that people will still buy these things and even buy them at an even higher rate based on the projections. The National Housing Trust, it is becoming a thing of the past because 11.4 billion will be milked from this institution that was created to address the home ownership crisis in this country for the low to middle income households. One caller called in yesterday and said for 20 odd years she has been contributing to NHT, but she can just never be qualified. How much more proof is needed, Jamaica, for you to recognize that this country is under an administration that has only brought destruction upon our country? No proper policy, no plan of action forward. As a matter of fact, they are turning on themselves. Minister Morgan threw the Minister of Finance right under the yellow bus when Minister Vaz incorrectly brought into this country the failing rural bus system. with the amount of mechanical issues. Now they are asking to buy 100 new buses now. Did you know that today they threw Minister Favour right under the bus? I want the Minister Favour, you know. I said, Minister Favour, run like Joseph. I said, Minister, run.
Okay. I didn't ask about minor damage. Everything we speak of would be major, like the ones we spoke about.
We have 3 bridges that were damaged in Melissa that received major damage. That
Okay.
require intervention.
All right, last question, Minister. 19,002. I'm going to refer to 19,002 and 19,000 C1. When they head in road construction and repairs. So for 19,002, I noticed that the approved estimates would have had 11 billion. The revised would have had 16. But now the estimates for 26-27 would be down by half, 50% from the revised to 8 billion. And in the capital budget on 19,000 C1, it would have gone down by about 20%. So I'm asking, with the deteriorating road conditions that we have had before Melissa and complicated by Melissa, how do you justify the figure being reduced by such a significant amount for road construction and repairs?
Well, I did say already that the Ministry of Finance does make allocations throughout the year during supplementary estimate as the need arises. And
So why wouldn't it be in the original? Since we already know the situation, why wouldn't we have budgeted for it from now instead of waiting on the supplementary to the stuff like that?
I note your comment, and I'll definitely ask the Ministry of Finance why they didn't do it immediately rather than do it over
Why are
time.
you throwing anti-favor under the bus?
All right, thank you, Minister. No further questions.
You hear that? You don't hear somebody say, oh no, you throw Minister Favour under the bus? Them throw Minister Favour right under the old yellow bus them of us bringing at the...
It's the Muppet Show!
I warned Minister Favour I'm going to take some calls now. I said run anti-Favour, run. When the opposition are batter your left, right and said, I said, this lady don't get the script, you know. This lady don't get the script. She's not included in the clique. I said, run Minister Favour, run. You look like a nice, sweet old lady. I'm sure you probably have grandchildren. I say, run, Minister Favour, run for your life, because when the rubber hits the road, they are going to throw you under the bus. Minister Favour never listen to Brother Perry. Minister Favour sit down in the government because they might get $1 million a month time. But see them now, right? I'm going to play it again and take some calls.
Okay. I didn't ask about minor damage. Everything we speak of would be major, like the ones we spoke about.
We have 3 bridges that were damaged in Melissa that received major damage. That
Okay.
require intervention.
All right, last question, Minister. 19,002. I'm going to refer to 19,002 and 19,000 C1. When they head in road construction and repairs. So for 19,002, I noticed that the approved estimates would have had 11 billion. The revised would have had 16. But now the estimates for 26-27 would be down by half, 50% from the revised to 8 billion. And in the capital budget on 19,000 C1, it would have gone down by about 20%. So I'm asking, with the deteriorating road conditions that we have had before Melissa and complicated by Melissa, how do you justify the figure being reduced by such a significant amount for road construction and repairs?
Well, I did say already that the Ministry of Finance does make allocations throughout the year during supplementary estimate as the need arises. And
So why wouldn't it be in the original? Since we already know the situation, why wouldn't we have budgeted for it from now instead of waiting on the supplementary to the stuff like that?
I note your comment, and I'll definitely ask the Ministry of finance why they didn't do it immediately rather than do it over
Why are
time.
you throwing anti-favor under the bus?
All right, thank you, Minister. No further questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take some calls. Call me at 1876 1876 562 8302. Go ahead, caller.
Lord, Mr. Perry, good night, good night, good night. Jesus have mercy.
Yes.
Mr. Perry.
Yes.
You know, you hear what them say? Why you throw anti-favor under the bus? You hear this pistol come through the mic. You know one more. Perry. What happened to this woman? Me no sorry for her, you know? Me no sorry for the woman because, you know, sister, she diminish. You see the woman here gone off her head altogether. The woman, you see the stress on her. She don't look well. She don't look healthy. And she sit there because of the money where she want to collect. And I make the situation with her get worse and worse. Don't surprise if that woman drop down one day.
Oh Lord,
I would want it. She carrying every burden and you can see it.
Yes.
And she will not listen. I am not sorry for her. Because she sit there and help to feed the nation with the lie them and to make up. And she know what she's saying. It is not true. It is not correct. She cannot give excuse me, a correct answer to the questions asked. She keep muffling, and she just, when you really look at her, she look like a fool, she look like an idiot sitting there. It's the truth. And she must recognize herself and her health and take a back seat, step down, lady.
Yes.
It's gonna get worse with her, you know. Then Mr. Perry, with Cuba, you know.
Yes.
You see from, excuse me, the sinus bother me. You see from, the option was from the US, is either you send back the Cubans or you lose your visa. What did they do? Them think about themselves first.
My God.
They send back the Cuban to save the visa. Right? I am not surprised. But look at it this way again. You know, see, everything that the previous prime ministers has initiated in Jamaica, they're trying to do away with everything. You don't see that?
Yes, man.
So you know what is coming. You know what is coming. For him type of system where him a bring in to have people under bondage.
Yes. Yes.
Now, with the Cubans out of Jamaica, there are no people going to suffer with health care. Because these are some of the people who come to Jamaica on missions to do specialized surgery.
Yes.
Especially on eye and children. And, hey, Jamaica people don't see it. When them are going to see Mr. Perry, the Cubans are a good asset to Jamaica medically, and it's gonna get worse and worse. Jamaica people must remember, so they have their money to go travel.
Yes.
Vaz, white daughter to go have baby, you know. When them could have been say, okay, make them what you call it, registered midwife come in. You see where them go? Quite a foreign, in a foreign go a baby. Jamaica people has lost it, and them going paid dearly for what they have done. And it is happening, and it's the beginning. Make who wants to don't talk about the 1 p.m. So where the 1 p.m. I get them? Where 1 p.m. I get them? Then, may I come on now, Mr. Perry? Yes. Remember the money we Shaggy get towards Buster Children Hospital. Oh, tough time literally war with the man and enough money. And a tough time money and he war with the money. And the man know over the money. Nobody know where that money go. It go in the thief in donation funds. And that's how it go put away. See them come back again and not to Jamaica people and just sit down and waiting people, other people are trying to help an organization and people help family and them have the money same way one pan. Now do nothing for the people.
True.
How can this be? How can this be? Mr. Perry?
Yes, caller.
Well, I know. Them not listen to me, you know. The people that really, them not listen, but them, I don't know. No, them not put nothing in effect. Them not make no move, no decisive move. Them just sit down trying to take everything.
All right, caller. Thank you so much.
Anyway, thank you, Mr. Perry.
Yeah, man. Blessings. Ladies and gentlemen, I told the minister to leave. She stayed. If you make your bed, you will have to lie down in it. I see somebody in the chat asking, yes, you can, it's a WhatsApp number. You can call me at, listen, call me 1-876-562-8302. Whether you're calling straight, whether you're calling on WhatsApp, whether you're a Laborite, whether you're a PNP, whether you are independent, whether you are not affiliate, call, because I would love to hear from some Laborites too, you know. What is the justification Laborites have for this unprecedented fallout between Jamaica and Cuba? What will be the justifications though? I'm almost very excited to hear what will the Laborites say in response to something that is as unprecedented as this. I'd love to hear it. Turn me down in the background, caller. Turn off the device. Go ahead.
Yes, good night, Mr. Perry. This is your friend again. I was watching Mystic today. Boy, I got to hear food from a caller. Them under a serious spell. All of them will take the money. We took the money from him under serious spell. All the children that they sacrifice, blood sacrifice. You need to listen to that program. It was very uncomfortable, but oh my God, I couldn't believe it.
Well, caller, you have to believe under this administration we've seen nothing but destruction.
The so-called hurricane is man-made. The boy confirm it. And go down in the Bible verse and tell you what them preach in Israel.
That is very interesting. All right.
You need to listen to that guy talk about Mexico and all the other stuff with Andrew. It was something else. It was something else. Unbelievable. When I was born, I never heard such stuff.
All right, caller. Thank you so very much. We're going to take some calls, all right?
You're welcome.
Yes, man. Blessings. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead.
Hey, good night.
Good night. Good night.
Remember, you know. Remember, say, I got training, you know.
Oh, yes, I got training.
Remember, I got a teacher. I remember, I said, when Cuba and them in the 80s, you know.
My God.
Michael Manlino when he win, you know.
So
once bitten, boy shy. So, to make off, pay feet.
My God. The poor will have to pay for it, caller. The poor.
Yeah. Then them take it chicken, you know. Remember, say, them take it chicken, you know. And them have 5 KC, you know. So, when they go to hospital, no bed, no go there, no, nothing go there.
No staff.
So once bit,
twice shy.
So as a great man Marcus Garvey say, we don't know we say if we're back against the wall. And the back of the wall there, and in the wall with now.
My
so,
God.
Yeah, go back and watch you till the end, bossy.
Alright. No problem.
Alright, cool.
Well, it is always said, ladies and gentlemen, that history has a way of repeating itself. What is it that we intend to accomplish by severing such an important relationship between Jamaica and Cuba? Am I to believe that under this administration, health is good? Am I to believe, ladies and gentlemen, that Mr. Tufton is doing a wonderful job as health minister? I mean, the Laborites could tell me. Laborites, is it that Jamaica is able to stand on our own feet when it comes to health? Do we have the competent enough doctors and nurses? And is it that we have all the facility? Is it that our locals are willing to go into those countries? Because many of them not going where the Cubans are willing to go. Am I to believe, is this an indication that Jamaica is able to stand on our own feet? I'm trying to understand. Because I could point them to facts. When Laborites become rude, it is a testament to their intellectual capacity, right? They can only offend themselves. If they are unable to have a civilized conversation or to give comments without resorting to profanities and rude remarks, then it is also indicating to their intellectual capability to reason without being offensive. And that is also reflective of the leadership that they follow, because we've seen rude rhetorics coming from the very camp of the Jamaica Labour Party. So they cannot help it. So I am not even offended by that. I'm simply asking a question. I am asking, with Jamaica destroying a 50-year-old relationship between Cuba and itself, are we to believe that the Jamaican government and the Ministry of Health and Wellness will stand in the gap? Are we at a place to make up for what will be lost? I'm just asking. It is as simple as that. No need for personal attacks, Laborites. No need to curse bad words. Come on, man. No need to go into all of that nonsense. You know, we're not here to have unintelligent conversations. I mean, if you're unable to have unintelligent conversations, well, we can understand. But I'm asking a very simple question. The phone lines are open. What is to be achieved by ending a 50-year-old relationship between Cuba and Jamaica? It's as simple as that. Let's take some more calls. Go ahead, caller. Talk to me.
Good night. So Perry, I really want to say something to the JLPs and the Prime Minister of Jamaica. You understand me? Because it says in the about what a neighbor truly looks like in the Bible. We are told that even an enemy can be a neighbor if they show mercy. For Jamaica, Cuba has been a brother for over 100 years.
Yes.
In the early 1900s until today,
Yes.
Cuba has done for us. In 1920, they employ over 100,000 Jamaica. They opened their doors for over 100,000 Jamaicans workers, providing wages to them. In 1970s, they built schools, they built foundation. Let me remind them, Jose Marti.
Yes, Jose Marti, yes.
Foster and Garvey Maceo, right? This year, last year to this year, the Cuban doctor has provided 30,000 surgery to Jamaicans so they can see.
Yes.
Okay? And I'm telling Andrew, don't turn your back on a neighbor who has stood by you for a century. Whether it's education, healthcare, or labor.
Yes.
Cuba has proven that mercy isn't a word. It's an action. We owe them a debt of gratitude.
Yes.
That time and politics can never erase. You understand me? So, I'm not gonna call them names because, I don't want to insult the Irish, but they behave like leprechauns. And I remember this bad man say him not afraid of nobody.
Yes.
So why you not rent? Him say me not afraid of nobody. So why in Hurricane Melissa, Cuba render aid to Jamaica? Why Cuba is going through this crisis right now, and the big bad bull cannot render aid to Cuba? Come on, we have to do what is going on. Did somebody put a spell on the Prime Minister to make him so inhumane? You know that we really need to pray for him.
No, I pray for the Prime Minister.
Yes,
I do.
People pray for him so that God can soften his heart, because maybe he's the one who's losing it. Yeah, you know what? And people, we are all one blood. We don't need to be fighting against each other.
No, we don't need to be. We don't need to be fighting. It's not a business to us to be fighting against each other for.
Yes, and swearing profanity and carrying on against each other. But if you really look at it, Laborites and PMP, the voters, we are all suffering.
Exactly.
What you fighting for? He's not a god.
He's their God.
Have you see him came out before election shaking hands and handing out book? Do you see that man in the street today feeding people or giving some of his income to anyone?
Not at all.
Okay, that's all I have to say, my brother Perry. Take care. And Laborite and PMP shake on and live good. Puss and dogs can live good. Laborite and PMP can live good too. Good night.
Blessings, man. Blessings.
Blessings too.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a shame and a disgrace when we look at how our country is running. Can you imagine? Instead of understanding how important it is. No, I have to pray for you know why I have to pray for the Prime Minister? I have to pray for the Prime Minister because he's currently the Prime Minister of the country. That's just the truth, you know. That's just the truth. Me have to pray. Me have to pray for him. But I'm gonna say this. If the Prime Minister doesn't change, God is going to rid this country of some of these politicians. I'm telling you. You think God is going to stand by and allow an administration to continually take advantage of the people and make stupid decisions at whose expense? There is a time coming, ladies and gentlemen. There is a time coming where a change is going to happen. It's going to happen. It is going to happen. Let's take some more calls. Go ahead, caller.
Hello, good night, Mr. Perry.
Good night, you're alive. Go ahead.
Yeah, good night. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. You?
Okay, alright, I'm good too. Alright, I listen to your program. I'm quite just average listening on your program, but sometimes the way how you start off the program, and this is my own perspective. A lot of the times I heard you saying that persons sound like they're campaigning, but if you realize how you project your program, you should want to sound like you are campaigning, in which I don't have any problem with that because everybody entitled to whatever they want to do. And also, the same persons, if a lot of Laborites callers on your program because they follow you, they listen to your program. And I think nothing is wrong with that because regardless if you're a Laborite or you're a PhD, you're a human being and you're Jamaica first. But you share different perspective or you're going to share different view. And a lot of the same followers, they subscribe to your program, they like your program. So when you come on and it's kind of downgrade them, I don't think that is good.
How do I downgrade them?
How do you, the way how you talk?
How I talk?
Down.
You know, I'm probably the only platform caller who don't block Laborites in the chat. You know that, right? And I'm probably the only,
No, you're not. You're not the only caller.
No, I'm saying I'm probably the only one.
I listen to Portland 5. I listen to Conrad O'Brien. And they are entertaining with callers. If you're running a program, I don't think your program is supposed to be subjected to just pay alone.
It's not. That's the reason why you're on the call.
All views are content.
Yes, but that's the reason why you're on the call. So I'm still trying to understand how is it that I'm downplaying Laborite supporters. Aren't you still on the call with me, sir?
Yeah. I am not a PNP, I am not a Laborite.
So what's the point?
Clear. But what I do, I listen for entertainment. So I listen to programs. I listen to various programs. And I don't normally call in on programs, but it's what I hear I am calling.
Well,
it is a matter. If you don't have to take what I say now, but listen back to yourself or listen back to your own program, and you will see what I'm saying.
So speaking truth,
you're a good perspective young man. I follow you because you speak a lot of truth at times, and sometimes you speak, but I know your particular direction you lead to, so you're gonna speak in that direction. Nothing is wrong with that.
Caller, what is it that I've said that makes you say I speak down to Laborites? Just tell me one example.
Laborite, no. It's like you're saying the Laborite, them can't talk, them don't.
No, but
those are not good words.
No, but then caller, be honest, caller. When we are talking about a student who was murdered by another student at the Ochi Rios High School, and Laborites are in the chat chanting 1 p.m. and we're talking about something as serious as that, don't you see that as unintelligent, caller? That's not a political matter for you to be rejoicing about.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. But from my standpoint, I don't think that they were saying 1 p.m. because of what you're saying about this.
They were. I even mentioned it.
Nobody could have been there, right?
That's the point, caller.
Because what happened to the student has nothing to do with
exactly
or jail.
Exactly. So you need to tell the Laborites.
We're all human beings.
That's why you need to tell the Laborites.
I'm from the old school, and you know the thing. The first time party person then, PJ, Patterson, Sia, all of them. They were all friends. Regardless of what, they were all friends.
So, Carla, guess what?
Nowadays, I realize that it's like PNP and Laborites are enemy.
No, but Carla, the issue is not on my end. No, the issue is not on my end. You need to talk to Laborites when they join. It's not on my end. I'm very tolerant of Laborites. Very tolerant.
Yeah, I think so to some extent. Yeah, I think so. Because to be honest with you, you have some programs that they can't call. And that's why I said, you see, I'm not calling another program on your station really like that, but with those two persons that I tell you, trust me, you're really tolerant of people, and if you think on what I'm saying, your platform gonna grow great, because you see, when you have different mixture of views of persons, it interests people to listen.
All right, Carla. Thank you so much.
When you just have the same thing over and over, then people are gonna get weird.
All right, Carla. Thank you so much for sharing.
You can share my opinion if you want. Pardon me?
Yeah, man. I hear your views, man.
Hello?
Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, and have a good one and take care.
You too. Guys, I think I am listen, I am probably one of the few platforms. I have never blocked the Laborite off of my platform. Never. Every day them join, and I don't block them. But if you act like a fool, I'm going to tell you that you act like a fool. How is it smart for you as a Laborite supporter to see what is happening in this country and still refuse to hold your government accountable? You're still walking around and shouting 1 p.m. I have to be tolerant. I'm a man of God. That's the difference with me. So I do what Jesus would do. I'm not going to shun people. So I have to behave very differently from others. I can sit and have a conversation with a Laborite, and I will never disrespect them. But I'm going to make it very clear. You are what you are if you behave like that. You cannot come, ladies and gentlemen, in the name of politics and see what is happening in this country, and you still go around and chant 1 p.m. Some of the Laborites do act as if they are clueless to what is happening. So, I will never disrespect anybody. I will never speak about anybody's character. But I will make it very clear. If you quack like a duck, if you walk like a duck, then you could bet the last penny in your back pocket that you are a duck. And I'm saying this tonight, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of these Laborites, they're acting as if they're stupid people. Because when you look right around you, ladies and gentlemen, it is clear as day that the country is going down a slippery slope. The truth is an offense, but the truth is not a sin. Laborites, if you're offended by what I say, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. Oh yeah.
Me ever fresh, me no green.
Me coulda never green, dog. Me no chow chow. No. Ha 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 ho ho. Who ya know?
Let us subscribe to that ideology of Michael Jackson, the king of pop. Start looking to yourself, Laborites. I'm happy that I can appeal to your conscience. You have to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself the question, did I make a wrong decision on September 3rd? Where did I go wrong as a Laborite? You have to ask ask yourself, it is okay to sit down and do some introspection. How could I support a prime minister whose statutory declarations are not certified? How is it that I could support an administration that will take $11.4 billion annually for the next 5 years out of the National Housing Trust? I only speak facts. If it ruffles your feathers, good. At least it is doing something to your mind, and it is calling for you to look within yourself and ask yourself the question, how is it that I could support the Jamaica Labour Party when new taxes will be imposed on the people who are yet to recover from the onslaught of Hurricane Melissa? I'm going to talk tonight. I have to speak the truth. That's what Jesus said I should do. How could I support an administration who ignored the international standards of recovery? When a natural disaster of that kind hits a nation, the modus operandi is to give tax breaks. It is to pump into the local economy. You should support the local economy. Get the people on their feet. Get the small businesses. I gave you guys a solution. It's economics. Basic economy. Get the local economy up and running again, which accounts for the small businesses. Small businesses contribute to 80% of jobs in our nation, to about 40% of the gross domestic product in the country. Once you get the local economy up and running, you're well on your way to recovery. This administration failed to do so. Instead of restoring the local economy, Laborites, what your prime minister did was to cripple it further. So this die-hearted tribal blind loyalty thing that is coming right out of the camp of the Jamaica Labour Party will forever be unaccepted, and I will continue to speak out against it. Good conscience would have told you, Laborites, that this administration should have never been re-elected for a third term. Good conscience over the 10 years that we've seen the Andrew Holness-led administration in power. It should have told you, if you were a well-thinking Jamaican, if you loved your country, if you were about unity, if you were about the unity that you're talking about, you could never put back the Andrew Holness-led administration in power. Ruel Reid, Andrew Wheatley, and many others. Scandal after scandal after scandal. Integrity Commission. Procurement breach after procurement breach. And when they are caught in the wrong, what did these elected ministers do? They gaslighted the public. They undermined the quality work of the Auditor General. And they told you and I that if they had an opportunity to do it again, they would do it again. And what makes it worrying for me, ladies and gentlemen, is that people see all of these things, and the only conclusion that they can come to is that, listen, I don't care, the Prime Minister is a JLP representative, and once that is the reality, I am comfortable. You don't think that is stupidity? You don't think that is a dunce operation? You don't think that is satanic? You don't think that is diabolical? Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a few more calls. And listen, I'm going to say it again. I make no apologies for calling out the incompetence of the Jamaica Labour Party. If you want us to speak good about your administration, do good. Do good. If your conscience set you free, Laborites. And people in the chat, you can feel free to block the Laborites. You can block them from your own device. But if you are offended by what I'm saying, probably you need to do some introspection. Go ahead, caller. Blessings.
Blessing, my brother Perry.
Yes.
Yeah, when we feel uncomfortable with it, you know, said this war, I know, we were dragged in this, almost the world were dragged in this war by the Israeli.
Yes.
Yeah. And me feel uncomfortable to know, say, our Prime Minister support them people there. Me very uncomfortable to know, say, this world might end up in a World War III and those people with Prime Minister support. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable with that, and we don't know where this is going.
Caller, there's a lot of woes under this administration, and I am confused how many persons still support this party.
I think them in the matrix, you know. I think them in the matrix. Yeah. And then caught up in the matrix and them don't understand what really happening around them. Them don't understand it, the labor right, them don't understand, and all them look what this Prime Minister said come to fruition, and we can say, yes, this is a man where I look out for the Jamaican people and he might do the right thing for the Jamaican people. Everything where he might do have to support some other people. Other people. And the labor right then don't see that they're not building up right now for 10 years, they don't build a school. Not one school. And the Chief Justice come and say the operation where the police them are out on the road and the ticketing system is not for collect tax. Then all them are going to tell us the government are look $1 billion out of it. And they at the same time them are tell us say it's not fake enough, it's not for revenue, it's not for collect revenue. Make that make sense. They might tell you one thing and it just come like everybody take the people them a big set of idiots. They might do some things and then realize that people are looking to where they might say it not for collect revenue, but at the same time the government are look over $1 billion in a motor vehicle. Motor vehicle ticketing. No, the country just, and the labor right, they must just come out and admit it, say the country now run good.
That's admit it and move on.
They have to do, just be honest with themselves. Just be honest with themselves. All the gentleman will just start a while ago. He must say, you have said this and you have said that, and you are talk on one side. But the division is already created by the Prime Minister, because he said the JLP confront when the PNP want to demonstrate about anything, the JLP must confront the PNP them in the street and in the workplace. Instant it, you know. So remember them thing there, you know, since I was sitting, all the labor right, them have to just come out and be honest with themselves, because no media try to protect corruption. It don't make no sense. It affect the whole of we are earth.
Yes.
Come on, man. Come on, JLP supporter, man. Come on, man. The country now run good. Just admit it.
And ask for better, man. All the leader accountable to.
Exactly. You know, see, they know so the country now run good enough. They know. All of us do just come together, accept it and say, make we try something, make we move forward and go in a different direction. You know, see, big up yourself, brother Perry.
Blessings, man caller. Thank you. It is true. That's all you Laborites have to do. Admit that you guys are getting it severely wrong. You guys are getting it very wrong. You don't need to come and take it out on us. He didn't vote for the JLP. A PNP will support. So why are you getting mad at us? You need to go and ask the Prime Minister what is it that he's doing in his office. You need to ask him what is it that is happening in Jamaica. Don't take it out on us. Our role for now, because we will make government. Again, I'm gonna make it very clear. For now, we must hold the government accountable. Ask the very serious questions. We must ask for transparency, and we must hold you all accountable. You think no party can pay me to come and talk or not say nothing? You're acting like it is we select the Minister of Finance. You have an incompetent Minister of Finance. Are you blaming us? You have an incompetent Minister of Health. And you're blaming us? You have an incompetent Minister of Transport and Energy. Huh? The Minister of Local Government is clueless. You should be ashamed of yourself for supporting an incompetent administration. No vision. No vision. Eh? Look at this. Look at this.
Let's go to the next question and then we come back to that.
To something more specific to the minister. As it relates to tourism activity. There is a projected future tax on tourism activity. Minister, I think the minister is still looking at the last question. But there's a suggested tax on tourism activity. That tourism activity, what does that include, if you may indicate some of the things to include? And specifically, does it include cruise activity? Does it include Airbnb? What does that tourism activity
Tourism activity as defined in the legislation.
Can you indicate to me? I've not seen that legislation. Would it include Airbnb? Would it include cruise activity?
You have to go to the legislation.
No, Chairman, with due respect, there's a tax here for tourism activity that has a revenue projection coming from the minister. If this is only on visitor arrival, that is a different thing for stopovers as versus for cruise. If this is only for JTB registered, that's a different quantity as versus for Airbnb. So therefore, it is reasonable for us to ask the current minister what is included in tourism activity, because the header for the tax, Member Brown, is tourism activity. Lend me a pink book. Pink book, revenue. When you sit here,
but I've given him the answer, right, as defined in the act.
All right, so therefore, the JTB Act, does the JTB Act, to your knowledge, include cruise ship persons in tourism activity? Does it include tour and tour activity in tourism activities? Does it include Airbnb in tourism activities? This is a reasonable question. 30% of the arrivals are suggested to go to Airbnbs. Is that a part of your income estimation? She has not, and you're not sitting there.
Members, Minister.
May I lose the part when it there? What? Okay.
Minister. It is not possible for the minister to search for every single thing in here. For some of the
single thing?
No,
for some of the things, it will take some time. So, minister, right. The member would like you to pull the act and read it for him.
All right, I'll get back to that question then.
So, member, would any member?
I think you saw some of these Laborites. You are upset that you have nothing to celebrate, but you cannot take your frustration out on the party that you support. Because remember that you are all a part of a cult apparently. So you can only try and take it out on the supporters of the People's National Party. But it's not we select the Minister of Finance. Should we go over to Road and Works? You want me just to remind you of what it looks like today? Mistakes in the budget?
Kilometers of road.
No, I said we're doing 630 roads.
But in kilometers, that is 250.
The Spark program was not defined by per kilometer.
No, man, understood. But in the book it says we will rehabilitate in 250 kilos based on the physical target. So I'm just clarifying if that's the correct information.
Let's say we're doing about 1,200 kilometers of Spark roads.
1,200?
Yes.
So why would the physical target suggest 250? At 19,000 C18, it is saying physical targets initially, rehabilitation of 250 kilometers of road pavement. So is that an incorrect statement in the budget?
I'm trying to find what you're talking about.
19,000 C18 in the capital budget. Physical targets. Number 7. Yes. So is that an incorrect statement?
That would probably be for the fiscal year, but
no, man, this is the overall physical target.
Well, that would not be correct.
All right, why it couldn't be for the fiscal years? Because in the same, at number 6 is stating the total amount allocated for Spark, which is 45 billion.
That could not be correct.
So the 250 is incorrect?
Yes, that is incorrect.
But the document is incorrect?
Okay. So the real figure should have been what?
Fully done.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I guess I ruffled some feathers tonight again. But you know, Laborites, let me tell you this. As a Christian and as a Jamaican first, I have nothing but love for my fellow Jamaicans. So even if you support the Jamaica Labour Party, I have no problem with you. I just want you to have intelligent conversations. I'm just speaking the truth, Laborites. I'm just speaking the truth. You know, just come with your facts. You know, it is sad. It is sad. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have the time for today. It was a good show. Oh my God.
Wow.
Minister said,
We are having an earthquake. Oh God.
That's an earthquake?
Yes, man. You know, so we have to beat and teach. We have to beat and teach. But the word is love, Glorious Swaby. Somebody, come on, all PNP supporters, just type in the chat. The word is love with some orange hearts. Let them know that the word is love. We don't hate. We don't hate. The word is love. Just type the word is love in the chat, man. The word is love. The word is love. Ladies and gentlemen, while you do that, let me pray. Father, we give you thanks for your mercies. We give you thanks for your grace. We give you thanks that you are in control. Lord, we pray for this country. So much is happening. One of our very strong diplomatic relationships have been severed or will be severed in short order. This will have significant impacts on our health system as we already suffer several woes. But Lord, we are asking that you will somehow direct this government in the right direction. Lord, we pray for wisdom. I pray for the government. I pray for the opposition. I pray for our MPs and the different senators that they will come together and do what is right by the people of this country. Surely, if there's ever a time we need you, it is now. It is now. Several Jamaicans are still caught up in the euphoria of the election campaign, and they are unable to see that the conversations that we're trying to have these days, it has nothing to do with politics. It is about Jamaica and advancing the welfare of the whole human race. So I pray, Lord, that you will bring some of our Jamaicans, our fellow brothers and sisters, bring them up to a standard where they're able to have relevant conversations and not belittle themselves to mere politics. You know, these conversations are needed conversations because Jamaica is going down a slippery slope. There are so many things happening round and about us, and we are demanding better for this country. Lord, I pray that you'll rid our government and our duly elected offices of corruption and things of that nature. I believe it is possible for Jamaica to be a corrupt-free country in governance. We are seeing it elsewhere. Many other countries, Singapore, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and the list goes on and on. They are doing very well on the corruption index. Why it is that Jamaica has to be the one in the Caribbean to be leading where corruption and skullduggery is concerned? I believe that better can come. So Lord, I pray for your intervention. I pray for your guidance. I pray for your wisdom. I pray for your spirit to move across this nation. These and other mercies we ask. In Jesus' name. Amen and amen. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't even get to touch on this. The Jamaica Baptist Union is considering recruiting overseas pastors to address a pastor shortage. There's a pastor shortage in the JBU. I wonder what Apostle Shuttleworth have to say about this. Apostle Shuttleworth, I need to have a conversation with you one of these days again, you know. There's a pastor shortage in the country. I've never seen this in all my life. What is happening?
Something alright. Something alright, yeah.
There is a pastor shortage in the country. In Jamaica, we have so many people who profess Christianity. Not even the pastors want to be pastors again. Under this administration, nobody not even wants to step up and serve and lead the flock. They have to go overseas. So where the pastors them gone? Yeah, I tell you, know. Not even pastors. The Bible said that we should go and make disciples of them. Not even the pastors want to serve under this administration, ladies and gentlemen. But a lot of these churches are corrupt too. A lot of these churches are corrupt too. Not even our churches, ladies and gentlemen, can find hands to do the work of the Lord. Jamaica is becoming a godless place. Everybody is running away from the pews now. My God, we have shortages everywhere. We have shortage of teachers, shortage of doctors, shortage of people with common sense, because in Jamaica right now, we've seen a lot of people who have no common sense, especially on the greener side. But not even the pastors. There's a lack of pastoral leadership and integrity in our churches today. Get rid of them, mighty God. Listen, probably the shortage is good. At least we will see. At least we can now pray for the Lord to raise up some real men and women of God. Because a lot of these pastors, ladies and gentlemen, they are politically aligned. They are so compromised to the point where they can't even speak out against corruption in this country. Get rid of them, mighty God of Daniel. Get rid of all of them. You know, along some of these pastors, politically aligned, they can't speak up nor speak out. Get rid of them, God.
Of health and wellness, those of you craft this order, I don't know what to say to you, but the Holy Ghost within me tells me that this order is working against the church. It's working against the body of Christ. Mr. Prime Minister, I was watching a program last night and you declare me to be your good friend. My good friend, I'm telling you, sir, this order God gets no glory out of it. And it's making the society worse than it ought to be. You're crippling the fountain of life that gives life to the nation. You're blocking the well. Somebody give me a chance in this house and plant this. You're blocking the well. You're stopping the fountain. Shakonda Bohura Babasata. Loose the church, loose the church.
A lot of these pastors, if you not get them now, get them millions and them big vehicle, them not want on pastor again. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a shortage of pastors. A shortage of pastors in the Jamaica Baptist Union. My God. Ladies and gentlemen, see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Let's ruffle some more feathers tomorrow, same time. Because we need to get Jamaica back on track. Yes, man. We have to speak that truth. God bless you. Love you all. Praying for you. Bye-bye.
The perspective with Perry Cummings Jr. Big up yourself. The best is yet to come. This is my perspective. Telling you my perspective. This is my perspective to bring change that I feel me objective. Scandal after scandal. Look where Jamaica come to. Them a rob the money and a thief a lot too. Election tactics, what a disgrace. Them cut off ribbon and the place no safe. It's a prime minister. Are you me a address? Police a kill off the youth if you check. Talking about the way country are the best. But though this is my perspective, telling you my perspective.
Well,